Everything's unfolding as it should, and I would be more grateful if I could. If the world is an image in my mind.
Welcome to day 2 of Vlogmas. It's Wednesday, it's about 10 to 7 in the morning, and Jeff and I are just getting ready to go for our walk. I'm holding on a little bit because it's pitch black outside, which is fine, but I want to show you something that specifically relates to our advent colour this morning. So how are we all doing? Are we well? Did you enjoy the videos yesterday? There are so many on my YouTube feed this morning. It's lovely. I was up at 5 again, so Jeff and I have had a cuddle, had a little knit. I think I only watched 2 or 3 Vlogmases because people's first one seems to be that bit longer, don't they? Which is amazing. I love it. I watch Vlogmas any time of year. It seems lately Nick seems to have a surgery at least once or twice a year, and whenever he goes down for surgery I pop on a Vlogmas or a Vlogtober or something, you know. I just love them. But I do acknowledge that this year is difficult for people, isn't it? The Advent season and the Christmas season brings so much joy to so many. And I know as crafters in our community, there's a huge enthusiasm. There's a huge build up to Advent and Vlogmas. And, you know, I love it. But I think it is important to acknowledge that it can be a time of deep struggle for people, and that's certainly true of Nick, you know, who lost his dad at the end of summer. So many of the things that we are looking forward to this year and would normally bring so joyful are being incredibly difficult, and I'm sure that will be the case for a lot of people, I'm sure. So yeah, my heart and my thoughts go out to you, and yeah, just know you're not alone. You know, we show this side on Instagram and YouTube, don't we, that's all picture perfect and, you know, the good side of life, don't we? But I think for most of us there are struggles going on behind the scenes, and I just want to acknowledge that, really. But these vlogs of mine will continue to be what I hope to be just a cosy chat with a friend. Certainly nothing glamorous or nothing aspirational, but just yeah, just a nice country walk and a chat with a friend. And I personally think there's a lot to be said for that. It doesn't all have to be anything fabulous, does it? Sometimes just a chat with a friend is what you need. I know that's true for me. So today is a work day. We are dyeing the second instalment of the Rainbow Chronicles, so what will be February if you're joining in the sock knit along and the blanket knit along. But I'll show you those later. I'll show you how we come about putting these collections together, the process behind. We sort of start with a mood board and choose colours from there. A palette of colour, and then how that develops into the final colour. So I'll go through that with you later. And there'll be some more Advent shenanigans with Megan later. Yeah, I think that's it for today, really. So, yep, I'll go and get ready for this walk and we'll catch up later. Take care. show you this walk today, but actually being dark it's worked out quite good. So today's colourway is called Mistletoe Kisses, and I'll show you the colourway when I get back home or to work later. But it was inspired by this walk and this tree and all those what look like birds' nests, those dark clumps within the trees, is all mistletoe. It's just wild mistletoe. There's loads around here on this walk. It's amazing. I had hoped to be able to forage some, but I need to know if that's legal. I need to do a bit of research on that. But yeah, it just grows in all the trees, look. The fact that it's dusk, or day just breaking dawn here, shows it quite well actually. But mistletoe, I'm sure you're aware, is a parasitic plant, and I think typically the birds must drop the berries, and yeah, it grows then on a host tree. There's some more there, look, in this tree. You see those dark bits, those little clumps. Yeah, that's all wild mistletoe. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm hoping to take a clump, but as I say, I need to know if that is legal. I'm not sure if it's, you know, protected or what have you. So I shall do a bit of research before I go stealing mistletoe. So yeah, there we go. That's our day 2 colourway, Mistletoe Kisses. I was hoping Nick would be here and I could sneak a kiss under the mistletoe, but sadly not. He's in bed. So this is the Mistletoe Kisses yarn. I mean, mistletoe is white berries on a green, with a green leaf, isn't it? So it's all open to interpretation, but so our berries are represented in these little chartreusey pops, and some red kisses, red lipstick kisses. There are some little delicate tiny little brown speckles in there as well, which is like the bark on the trees, you know. I really like this colourway. Really like it. So I hope you enjoyed the walk this morning. It was really dark, but I think that proved beneficial into some respects. So, but yeah, here's the yarn. Hi guys, I'm at the studio and just come back from a walk with Jeff on the field over the back, and it's turned really wet and cold, and it must have been raining quite heavy, but I've been blissfully unaware. Really, the Rainbow Sock Chronicles, our 2021 yarn club, goes back on sale on Sunday. I thought you might find it interesting to see how the process evolves, how we come to these colour palettes and the final product. So this is February's colour palette. It's going from dark pinks into red. Obviously this is a pale pink with pink speckles, but yeah, you know, you have to have some contrast to make things cohesive, don't you? So that's the final palette, but to get to that stage are quite a lot of processes. We've got on our dye wall 140, well, the Nick's Pick a Mix on the website, I think we've got 130 odd colours, so all of them are replicated on our side as well. And we have information such as like the depth of water, the temperature of water, the volume of dye powder we use, you know, all those sorts of information. And we've got about 160, so we've got about 140, 150 generic colours, you know, straight pure dye powders, and then there's about, oh, I don't know, there's loads that we've just blended ourselves to get our perfect shades and things. So when we start thinking about a new collection, so for this month, I say it was darker pinks into reds, we pull off a load of the colours from the wall and we start to sort of group them together and play around with colours. So these are the little minis I was talking about. So we might pull out a handful, you know, of different shades of reds and pinks, There's obviously some peaches and some corals there. And the reason for the peaches and corals is because we're always trying to think one sort of step ahead. So next month's colour palette, which will be March's, but go on sale in January, knit through March, will be peaches and apricots. So to make it really cohesive and flow from one month to the next, adding in those little touches of peach and coral, you know, really make for her cohesive palette. Again, and I don't typically like an orangey red. This is red, but it's showing more orange on my screen, but I don't typically like an orange red. I prefer more of a blue toned red. But for this palette it works really well because next month, as I say, is going into peaches and corals. So this, if I take that colour, that is a blend of 5. So these are the 5 colours that make up that one skein. So you wouldn't necessarily look at that and think that there's 5 different colours in there. It's really not that orange, it's getting blown out massively, but it just gives you an idea. But you wouldn't necessarily look at that and think there's 5 colours and shades within it, but there really are. And that's what the beauty of hand dyed yarn, that you get all those nuances of colour, those little tiny speckles, those tonalities. So we had a play, we dyed the 5 colours, or what we thought were the 5 colours. And then we lay them all out and see how they all interchange. Sometimes we put them onto a grayscale photo, see how that works. If I'm trying to show you something pretty, yeah, we put things on a grayscale to see how that plays with the colours. And we did that with this one, and one of the colours that we thought was going to be number 5, so originally this deep red wasn't in there, it was these 4 and another was our sort of work in progress, our test skeins. But when we put what would have been number 4 in, it was really close in value to number 3 here. So we scrapped that one, liked how these 4 worked together, and then we already had 1969 because this is one of our regular colorways that we just thought worked perfectly. This sock tube is what was colour 4, so they don't get wasted. We turn them into sock tubes and then they go for sale in the shop. So for anybody that doesn't have a lot of time to knit a full sock, they can at least just pop in their heels, toes and cuffs, but still join in with the knit along. So there was like a handful, you know, maybe 2 or 3 of those going in the shop. Yeah, so once we're happy then with the 5 colours and what we think are going to be the final 5, Nick does a quick swatch on the sock machine, and then we get to see how they all play together. If we need to change any of the speckle distribution, if we need to make a certain colour a bit stronger, a bit richer. Again, this isn't as orange as this, it's really getting blown out, you're losing all the red tones. However, from this we did go back and add some deeper red to it. So then we're happy there, we're kind of like, okay, yep, so we know what we're looking like, we know how it's all going to knit up and play together. I know from an experience of knitting that they will work in a fade, they'd obviously work in a colour block, they'd work just as scrappy socks. So yeah, I'm kind of happy at that point that we've covered all bases. So that just gets popped on the swatch board. And then we start the dyeing really. I then take a skein and start knitting a sample, and this is where I'm at with mine. I say we have got the sock machine, so we could just do a sample on the sock machine, but I think it's really nice to see a hand knit sock as well, isn't it? To see, you know, a texture or a pattern or a fade or something that you can't just do on a sock machine. So this is the pattern I've chosen for this month. I've just put some undyed yarn in between. I will pop some of this in the shop this month. I'm just going to pop 50 gram skeins in for £5. So we're not making money on that, but you know, I haven't, apart from paying tax and VAT on it, so I have to account for that. You know, we've not done anything to it bar stick a label on it, so I don't feel it appropriate or necessary to charge more than that. So yeah, if anybody wants to do this pattern, then they can get some undyed too. If I show you last month's sample, you can see how, so last month I did a fade, and you can see then how we're starting to move through the rainbow of really pale definite pinks through the gamut of darker pinks and reds, and then next month I say we're going into peaches and corals. So yeah, I hope excuse me, I hope you found that interesting. It's nice to share the process. I don't think we always share the whole process really in our working lives, so it's not, I don't know, I think we just put out the end product and we don't give ourselves credit for the work that's involved in achieving it. So yeah, so this is the final pack of February's palette, 20 gram set. We've got the 10 gram palette packs as well. Hi everyone, it's about 6:30 and I'm home from work. I've got dinner cooking and I thought I would just share with you some pottery that I have. I've been lucky over the years to receive a few pieces of pottery from my friend Gaynor, Tales from Cuckoo Land. I adore this one. I've got 2 of these, and one I keep my soap in, and this one, I love that one. But I thought, when I watched Gaynor and Jules, So Sweet Violet, Rachel from So Ray Me, so many of vloggers seem to make those little energy balls, those little, you know, those little Deliciously Ella type things. So I thought I might have a go, and these just are the perfect Instagrammable vessel, aren't they, for 2 little energy balls. It always seems to be 2 that Rachel, Jules and Gaynor pop in their dish. So yeah, I guess if I'm going to call myself Shropshire's premier vlogger, I ought to take this rite of passage and make said energy balls and put them in the little dish. I'm not going to show you making them because ultimately, you know, it's just mushed up stuff, but yeah, I found some hand picked Sicilian orange peel that's been chopped by the fair maiden of a village girl. So I've made some orange ones, and then some organic coconut and nut butter. So anyhow, I'll show you the 2 different types I'm going to put in my dishes. Oh, and some freeze-dried strawberries that have been kissed by the unicorn. So here we are. Here's my orange one. Oh, this is the coconut one, and this is the strawberry one that's been kissed by a unicorn. I think they look lovely in there, don't you? And in the other one, I just wanted to go a bit more simple, just that plain little brown ball of Deliciously Ella energy. So yeah, but I don't know, 2 looks a bit lost. What do you think? Maybe we ought to put some more in. Perfect energy balls. I hope you approve, Gaynor, Jules, Rachel. I love you ladies. Have a good night everyone. I will see you tomorrow. Take care.